they want to know, and I'd like to know. I mean, I asked you when you said that there was coke in her system, how you knew, and you said that you heard it from Jagger.
I didn't hear it from. I heard it from a lot of other people. Jagger told me that it was not possible because he knew something more. But so it was not from Jagger. Let's get that straight. He did not give her the coke or know anything.
So, hello and welcome to another episode of one of the most fucked up cases that we're likely to see in modern history. I can't, apart from the Sean Daugherty case, what is going on in this case? Now, what you've just listened to there is, now this channel here, there's a link to that full interview over there, so do go and check Michelle's channel out. Now, I don't know whether you caught it. It's one of those blink and you'll miss it type things. But she was going to say that Jagger had said that there was nothing involved in terms of drugs because he was there. That's what she was going to say. She very quickly, slammed the brakes on, emergency stop and all that. But that's what she was going to say. Now, whether she was going to say that in error, and she quickly corrected herself, and he wasn't. But what I'm going to say is this. How can you know so much when you weren't there? How can you, with any conviction, say this didn't happen, that didn't happen, this is what happened, that is what happened, unless you were there and you witnessed it firsthand? Or you have to stick rigidly within a story that you have been told to tell. Or you're just blindly trusting someone who has said that this is what happened. And maybe you do trust them to that. We've seen other cases, such as the Michael Vaughan case with Brandy Neal and Tyler Vaughan. Brandy Neal was not at home, Tyler Vaughan was. Michael Vaughan disappeared, vanished off the planet, and this goes to the point where Brandy Neal, who wasn't there, has to trust Tyler with no doubts whatsoever. That's what she's got to do. And I'm not saying she's wrong for doing it. She's certainly not 100% right for doing it, because the little boy went missing under questionable circumstances, and lo and behold, this is where we sit now. And it's similar in this case. We've got people who are claiming to not be there. They can prove that they were 4 hours away, and yet with this conviction, they can tell you exactly what did and didn't happen. And that, to me, in itself is a huge red flag, because you can't. Unless you are physically there, then you cannot say what did and didn't happen. You can't say what someone took and what they didn't take, who they was with and who they weren't with, whether they were driving drunk and ended up driving themselves into the reservoir. You cannot say that. Just as much as we can speculate on here, unless there is proof to it, we cannot say anything. We can only speculate. So these people, if they weren't there, they are speculating. But they are pushing it like it's fact. And that sits very, very uncomfortably. And for me, I have to ask, with what we know, and we've known the slip-ups of law enforcement, there's lots of information that we have not been told yet. And look, I've said it in the past, I'm not arrogant to think that we need to know everything, but I do certainly feel there's information out there, such as the tow truck situation, that we as the public have a right to know if it's not connected. There are a lot of things that don't sit right in this case. There's a lot of information out there that we don't know if it's true, that could massively affect this case if they're not cleared up. But for me, that person was going to be saying that Jagger was saying that this was not possible because he was there and he knew what happened. I don't know what you make of that. I genuinely don't. Let me know down below what you think. We've heard that Jagger's been cleared, but it would appear that he was cleared a long time ago, perhaps even before Kylie was found. There is people who are saying that both Sammy and Jagger were questioned for hours. I think it was 8 hours, and they were given a polygraph test. I don't know the truth behind that, but that is what's floating about in the ether. But we know what we think of polygraph tests anyway. What do they prove? And I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. But for me, this raises a whole new question of, are these kids lying to cover their own arse because they were there? Are they covering their own arse because something happened that they neglectfully caused? But Jagger's here. He's the odd link here. He's the odd link because he has apparently been placed away from it all. Away from it all. He wasn't at the party. He didn't get back into truck until around noon the next day. Yada, yada, yada. And for someone who wasn't there, nothing to do with it, cleared, he seems to want to put his input in everything and very firmly stamp that these things were not possible. Now, he may be doing it out of his eternal love for Kylie. You know, I do question that because, again, Kylie wasn't on his social media. She wasn't on his social media before she was found and all this went off. She wasn't. He didn't put up any missing posters on his social media to push that. We've heard that he's had connections with Kate since this all kicked off. Again, we don't know the truth behind it, but that is, again, things that's out in the ether. But, look, you tell me, was Jagger at this fucking party or was he not? Because if he isn't, and he wasn't anywhere to be seen, how does he know so much? How is he quite confidently saying this didn't happen, that didn't happen, and I know it didn't? It's not possible. I'll catch you all in the next one.